Welcome everybody to the first real video for 2026. And I just want to say 2026 just started and we need to start locking in, getting results, but most importantly, taking our time and moving with intention and clarity. What does that look like? What does that even mean? I want to dive in. I got a pen, not a pen, a marker. I got a marker and I got a whiteboard that is a calendar. So let's get right into it. The first thing that we want to understand on oh, look, I'm changing the lighting based on this. First thing we want to understand with how we are moving in life is are we reacting to the outside? Are we reacting to everything around us instead of looking at what is in front of us and just letting it be and taking the action regardless? The whole thing about this video is where we want to take action. Action is everything. Action is movement. Action is momentum. Action is everything. But when we are taking this action, we want to take the action from a place of knowing, from a place of groundedness, and just, I'm going to take this action and I don't care about the results. You're detached. That's basically it. You're detached. And I want to really explain that you don't need to know how to detach from anything. You don't need to understand detachment. Yes, there's many ways to do it. Breathing exercises, relaxing, doing something that you love and focusing on that solely. Detachment and just taking action comes and stems from you understanding that when you do not focus on the outcome, and you do not focus on the result, you are now truly just there. You're just there. You have a wide range of possibilities, and there's nothing that you cannot do when you just focus on taking action. Now, taking action. Ready? MVG. I wrote a 6. MVG. Minimum viable goal. It's like a minimum viable product, right? You want to get something out there and test it in the market, see what the market reacts, see if your product is getting a good response, right? Right now, we want to see, hey, is my action going to get a good response from me? But not even that. I'm just going to take the easiest action right now that I can take and then move from there. So the easiest action that you can take to move towards your goal, what is it? What is that easiest action? Now we're going to move to it. We really want to get to a point where we are taking action, right? Action, but you do not care about the results or outcome. You are not dependent on the result or outcome. When you understand why you're not dependent on the result or outcome, I'm going to dive into it. There's a lot more that I want to get into where you can really understand that you do not need that. Let's break it down on what is like that foundation behind not focusing on the action. I'm going to say this clearly, as clearly as I can. Your perception is everything. Your perception on what you're doing, on the action you take, is everything. So if you want to take action from a place of strength and not overwhelmness or not confusion, but from a place of, hey, I'm taking this action as if I already have it, you need to change your perception. You need to change your perception. You need to change the concept of how you act and who you are. And that concept and that perception is everything. That perception, you can be anything or anything you want right now. You can say I am to anything. So when you are going to take any action, you're going to state I am and then declare the type of person that you want to be, and then you take that action. I know it sounds like, oh, like, yeah, but that doesn't work. Then we implement little techniques like the minimum viable goal. I am going to create a power, like what I'm doing right now. I'm creating a PowerPoint on the stock market or the markets and trying to understand, hey, what's moving the markets right now. I want to get more economically inclined or economically, I just want to know more about economics. Okay, I don't know what the word is there. So I'm going to open up a PowerPoint. That's a minimum viable goal. Press PowerPoint. That's it. Minimum viable goal actually is getting up, standing. Next, sitting in this chair. Next, I'm gonna just click my mouse. Okay, I'm gonna open up PowerPoint. Next, I'm gonna type in a couple words. Boom. As I get the ball rolling, shit starts happening. For this YouTube video, is the first one. I didn't want to I didn't want to do any more YouTube videos because I didn't feel like it. But I'm just gonna put this out as my minimum viable product, my minimum viable goal. We're gonna look back at this YouTube video and see, hey, how can I structure this better and structure the way I'm explaining this topic of taking action and taking action, not looking at the results or outcome. I want to reiterate that. I want to really bang that in every day. I want to get more in tune with this concept. I want you guys to understand this, and so you can apply it in your life where you're just moving, taking action, and then thinking big because you can think big. You can have the perception of, hey, I run like a multi-million-dollar business. It's creative, it's fulfilling, and it serves people. Or you do whatever you want, but it's a beautiful way to live. I think we're gonna tie in a bunch of things, right? So, taking action, and what action do you need to take, right? Taking action. What action do you need to take? Actions, right? That you hesitate on. You hesitate on actions that produce a no. Actions that produce a no as a result. Okay? As a no. And these no actions, right? No actions are big moves. Big moves. Why are they big moves? Because a lot of people are not taking the actions that they get no's from. They're scared. They're scared. Hey, I'm scared too. 100% I'm scared. However, remind yourself that I'm taking this action and I don't care about the outcome or result. I don't care about the outcome or result, and that is my MO. That is who I am. Okay? And then some people are going to say, hey, I get these thoughts that I'm constantly thinking about the action or result or outcome or result. How do I overcome that? Conceptually, be grounded in the fact that you have multiple and infinite perceptions right here, right now. I'm an astronaut. I'm this. I'm an eagle. I'm a dolphin. I'm etc. Right? But you really think that you're kind of in this zone right here. Remember to try to pull yourself out and tap into the fact that you can declare what you want, because you can say I am to anything right now. Like, you can act it out. You can say I am to anything. Does that make sense? Like, as an actor, you can say I am as anything. That they're acting as anybody. That's not who they are, but they're able to produce high quality content, high quality decision making in that role, right? They're not really like an assassin, but they're following a script, right, from the movie, from the producer, but they acted out so well that it's high quality. It's as if that they are that person. So you want to get into that. It's as if you are that person doing this work. But it's from that conceptual understanding that all perceptions exist right now, and you can tap into all and any perceptions, and it's taking it one step at a time. Can we make big moves? Can we make big moves from MVGs, minimum viable goals? So you want to act out conceptually the person that you want to be. Can you turn that whole thing that we just did, right, into a minimum viable goal. What is the minimum viable goal for you to be that person? All right. Let's say I want to be a multi-million dollar business owner. What would a multi-million dollar business owner do? He would get up, right? He would get up. Wow, this is sloppy. Anyways, wow, this is bad. He would get up. Forget this whiteboard. He would get up and he would sit down, right? Then he would turn on the computer and then he would do work. Okay, let's make this more targeted for me right now. I need to reflect on the day. I don't want to make this a huge time suck, right? Because I don't like that. So I'm going to break it down into minimum viable goals of, okay, boom, review one part of this day. Or just start typing. Start typing, review one part. Okay, I'm going to review the next part. I'm going to review the next part. And then, wow, that's turned into a 30-minute process of me asking questions and reviewing my day. That's what a high level CEO would do. So I just did it, okay? Now, in the morning, right? The biggest thing we want to make the most of our time. We want to make the most of our time. So when we're waking up in the morning, we got to ask ourselves, what is the minimum viable goal? And it's just getting up, like just getting up, sitting up, and then try to get out of bed. If you can't do that, that's okay. That's honestly okay. You just got to figure out a way that gets you out of bed. Figure out a way that makes you want to get out of bed or helps you get out of bed. I'd say maybe taking on more responsibility, taking on more projects, or doing more things, right? Kind of condensing your time to where you have to get out of bed in order to do this. Or if you don't get out of bed, when you do, you are now thinking, hey, what should I do? What should I do? What action can I take that I know I need to take that does not focus on the outcome or does not focus on any result? And honestly, you want to be living like this your whole time. Because when you do this, you're living in the present moment. The present moment is where there is no outcome. There is no outcome. Why? Because in the present moment, you have access to all perceptions, right? When you are kind of honed down and overwhelmed or whatever, you don't feel like doing something and you think you're tied to this world, or you're tied to reality, you are not in the present moment. You're not understanding that you can say, I am, and start doing tasks. You're kind of just pigeonholing yourself into this hole, which is okay, which is totally fine, because of course that's what you're living through, that's what you're going through. But you're not trapped, because you can absolutely get yourself still and say, I am this and that. Start taking action, not looking for an outcome or result, because you understand this conceptually. And now you will see your world start unstucking itself. I did 100 days of the Great Lock-In, or 121 days of the Great Lock-In, of taking actions, right, minimum viable goals that would change my life. Has my life changed? Yes. Like, as a person, totally different. I have a lot more things. I'm doing a lot more things than I ever thought I could have. But I'm still not, in terms of seeing results with money. No. Why? Because I'm still not taking the big no action moves. And I want this YouTube channel to document how I go through that journey and take those big no actions and start compounding those gains. Because the more actions I take that give me a no, the more money I will make, the more beautiful and rich my life will be. Because when I go for actions that have a no outcome, I'm not focused on the outcome, right? Because when I'm focused on the outcome, I'm trying to stay away from the no. When you are neutral to it, I guess going after the no, you're neutral to it, you could you'll love the good outcome, but if you get the no, you went after the no anyway. So it's like you're neutralizing that. You're living in the present moment. Because there in that action, you understand that you're living from where you're at, right? Like whatever limitation you got. But you're taking the action that you know you need to take. That produces the no. And you're living in the whatever, you're living the present moment because you're taking that action, because the no is part of it, and you're living from this part of life, right? But you can get the yes. You can get the yes. And that is that anything is possible moment. Like you can get the yes, and that's crazy. I think a great example is asking a girl out on a date for us, man. Right? Beautiful woman. Go ask. Go ask. I went to the gym. I went to the gym. I asked this gorgeous girl. No, I didn't ask her. I just told her she's very beautiful. We had a phenomenal conversation. I could have got her number, 100%, but I didn't. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what that means, but I said what the ass. I what the pack. Like I don't know what that means. Okay, but I did that, and I could do it again and again and again. So I want you guys to start taking those actions. Start rocking and rolling, boys and girls. This is going to be a great series, and we're going to lock in together. So, cheers. God bless y'all. Stay happy, healthy, wealthy in your head. Detach from everything. Let's get this journey started.